Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's work is essential to the transcendental movement and the American Renaissance. In particular, he had ability to mix and match various different writing styles, something that he preached actually as a teacher at Harvard, and manipulate him into expressing many of the concepts and ideas that were so prevalent during that age. One thing that was not discussed in our reading, which I wanted to bring light to before focusing in on the slave's dream, is that Longfellow also wrote Paul Revere's Ride, a poem that depicts Paul Revere's event the night before the shot heard around the world in the Battle of Lexington. And it kind of puts into infamy, one if by land, two if by sea. It's an amazing poem, and it kind of essentializes kind of this idea of revolution, which is exactly what the Renaissance was in many ways, like an idea of changing the tide, establishing America as a literary foundation. To do that, you have to look within. In particularly, the Wadsworth work, The Slave's Dream. Again, you have the idea, simply put, of a dream. A dream is reflective in nature. You look within oneself. More importantly, he does it, the dream is of a slave that falls asleep in the field. And I would like to read the last three stanzas and then discuss those. It's on page 647, written by Wadsworth, and it's on in 1842. At night he heard the lion roar, and the hyena scream, and the river horse as he crushed the reeds. Besides, some hidden stream, and it passed like a glorious roll of drums through the triumph of his dream. The forest, with their myriad of tongues, shouted of liberty, and the blast of the desert cried aloud, with a voice so wild and free, that he started in his sleep and smiled at the tempestuous glee. He did not feel the driver's whip, nor the burning heat of day, for death had illuminated the land of sleep, and his lifeless body lay, a worn-out fetter that the soul had broken and thrown away. So much of transcendentalism is about the soul of somebody, reaching within yourself and finding the greater meaning of something. And in this particular passage, he's saying that we were taking that away from people. That this slave, his only memories are memories from home, being Africa as his home, and the actual life, and it's not, for purpose he uses the word liberty. Again, going back to the idea of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the idea of freedom. That is something that the slave craved, that he wanted, yet he could only access through dreaming, through self-internalization. So again, you have this idea of a new political movement or a new political philosophy that slavery is wrong, that we see in both Stowe and Thoreau as well. And also you see this concept of reverting to within oneself, whether it's a dream, whether it's the concept of pain, whatever it is, whether you look within yourself to find the greater idea. And the only way that this was possible for the slave was to do it through dream, because when he awoke, he was whipped, and of course, life had no meaning. The soul was gone. So overall, Longfellow's poem continues the theme of introspective, looking upon life in a different way through every aspect of it, and as well as using that way of thinking to promote anti-slavery.